The wound you have been carrying, the one that came from the season you would not have chosen, the one that changed the way you read every room you walk into. That wound is not the end of the sentence. It is the comma before the part of the story that makes everything before it make sense. The wound became the testimony, not after it healed, but because it did. The wound became the testimony, and testimony means it had a purpose. Every scar that tried to define me, every damage that tried to be the final word, the wound became the testimony. And testimony is the most powerful thing a wound has ever become. I have been in the season where the wound was the loudest thing about me, where it shaped every conversation and colored every morning, and made the future look like a continuation of the damage rather than a departure from it. And I stayed in that season longer than I would have chosen if choosing had been an option. And somewhere in the staying, something shifted, not the wound, but the way I was reading it. And the reading changed before the healing did, and the change reading was the beginning of the testimony that the wound was building toward. The wound became the testimony, and the reading changed before the healing. The wound became the testimony, and before means the shift was the beginning. Every morning that the damage colored every conversation, the wound shaped, the wound became the testimony, and shaped and colored were the wound writing the chapters. The testimony required everything works together for the good, was not written for the comfortable. It was written for the one looking at the wound and asking how this specific damage could possibly belong to the category of everything working together for anything resembling good. And the answer is not given in advance, it is given in retrospect, when the testimony is complete enough to show what the wound was always building toward before the building was visible. The wound became the testimony, and retrospect is where it becomes clear. The wound became the testimony, and clear is coming every question the damage raised. Every how could this possibly? The wound became the testimony, and possibly was always more than a wound was able to contain. You are not at the end of the sentence. You are at the comma, and the comma is the hardest place to be, because it looks like a period from inside it, but the sentence is still going, and where it is going is worth every comma it took to get there. The wound became the testimony, and the sentence is still being written. The wound became the testimony, and written means it is not finished. Every damage that tried to be the period, every wound that tried to end the sentence, the wound became the testimony. And the testimony is more convincing for having been a wound first, still being written testimony. The crying that nobody saw, the specific kind that happens after everyone else has moved on from your situation. The kind that has no audience because the audience stopped knowing it was still happening. That crying has a morning on the other side of it. After the crying comes the morning, not immediately but certainly. After the crying comes the morning, and certainly is the word for it. Every tear that fell in the private season, every night that asked if morning was still real. After the crying comes the morning, and morning has never once failed to come. After the crying was finished, weeping may stay for the night was not written as a comfort slogan. It was written as a structural description of the relationship between night and morning. Weeping as a duration, and the duration is contained within the night, and the night has a duration, and the duration is contained within the arrival of the morning. And the arrival of the morning is not contingent on the weeping finishing first. The morning arrives on the morning schedule, regardless of whether the weeping has concluded. By the time it does, after the crying comes the morning, and morning arrives on its own schedule. After the crying comes the morning, not waiting for the crying to conclude. Every weeping that lasted longer than the weeper thought survivable. After the crying comes the morning, and survivable is the word for what the night produces in the one who makes it through to the morning. Joy comes in the morning, was paired with the weeping on purpose, because the pairing is the promise that the night and the weeping share a relationship with the morning, and the joy that is structural and not contingent on the performance of the weeper during the night. And the joy that comes in the morning was not earned by the weeping, it was built into the morning before the weeping had a name or a duration or a specific address. After the crying comes the morning, and joy was built into the morning before the crying comes the morning. And before means the joy predates the weeping. Every specific address the crying had, every private season of the night. After the crying comes the morning, and the morning is carrying the joy toward every night that is still happening right now. The night you are in has a morning attached to it, not because mornings are automatic, but because the one who scheduled the morning scheduled it specifically for the night you are currently trying to survive. And he does not miss the mornings he scheduled. After the crying comes the morning, and the scheduled morning is on its way. After the crying comes the morning, and on its way means it is already moving. Every night that asked if morning was still real was answered before the question finished. After the crying comes the morning, and the morning that is coming crying was always pointing toward the morning is coming, it is already on its way. After the crying comes the morning. You don't have the faith you had before. The process took something from it, not everything, but enough that the faith you have left feels too small for the size of what you need. But small faith was always the specific faith he was talking about when he said it was enough. Small faith still moves mountains. He never required the large kind. Small faith still moves mountains. The size was never the qualification. Every diminished season of believing, every faith the process made smaller. Small faith still moves mountains, and smaller was always enough for the one who does the moving. I have been ashamed of the size of my faith in the season that reduced it, as if the reduction was a failure of the believer, rather than the honest result of a process that would have reduced anyone's to the same small thing that remained when the process was finished with the reducing. And the small thing that remained after the process finished reducing was not a lesser faith, it was a more honest faith. And honest faith in a small quantity is more functional than performed faith in a larger quantity that the process would have revealed as partially decorative. Small faith still moves mountains, and honest was always more functional. Small faith still moves mountains, and functional is the word for what remains. Every reduced and honest remnant, every diminished but real remaining faith. Small faith still moves mountains, and remaining after the process is the most specific qualification for the moving there is. As small as a mustard seed was not a lowering of the standard, it was a description of the minimum requirement, and the minimum requirement was set specifically low, because the one who set it knew what the process would do to the faith of the ones who went through it, and wanted the minimum to be survivable. And survivable is what the minimum is, when the process has done its work on the faith that was present before the process started. Small is survivable, and survivable is still enough to move the mountain. Small faith still moves mountains. If survivable was always the target, small faith still moves mountains. And target means it was designed for this. Every post-process reduced remaining faith, every small honest mustard seed of believing. Small faith still moves mountains, and the mountain does not check the size of the faith before it moves. It just moves when the faith is present at all. The faith you have left after everything the season took is not a disappointment to him. It is not a reduced version of what he was hoping for. It is exactly the size he described as sufficient for the mountain, and the mountain has already received the instruction to move.
Small faith still moves mountains,
And the instruction has already been given.
small faith still moves mountains,
And given means the mountain knows it. Every reduced but present remaining faith, every honest mustard seed still standing.
small faith
moves mountains, and the mountain is already responding to the smallest, most honest, most post-process faith you have left.
small faith
Still moves mountains. The mountain already knows. I need to say something that took me a long time to be able to receive. The process was not the punishment. It felt like punishment. It had the texture of punishment. It arrived at times that made punishment the most available interpretation, but the process and the punishment are not the same thing, and the difference changes everything about what the process produced.
The process was not the punishment,
Even though it arrived like one.
the process was not the punishment,
And like one is not the same as one.
every season that felt like consequence,
Every heart that arrived like judgment.
the process was not the punishment,
And not the punishment changes the reading of everything the process produced. I have read my own history through the lens of deserving, and found the hard seasons fitting neatly into the category of what someone with my specific record might reasonably expect to receive. And the fitting felt like confirmation of an interpretation that was logical but inaccurate. And the inaccuracy of the deserving lens is that it assigns punishment as the motive for processes that were designed with a different outcome than punishment can produce. The process was not the punishment, and designed with a different outcome. The process was not the punishment, and outcome is what distinguishes them. Every season that fit the deserving lens, every heart that confirmed the interpretation. The process was not the punishment, and the confirmation was the lens, not the process. And the lens was inaccurate. He disciplines those he loves is not a contradiction of the process not being punishment. It is the distinction between discipline and punishment. Discipline has an outcome that punishment does not. Discipline produces something in the discipline that the situation required. The producing of and punishment is a different category entirely. And the producing of something in the season that felt like punishment is the evidence that the season was not punishment, but process. And process produces what punishment was never designed. designed to. What the process produced in you, the specific thing that only the specific process could have produced, is the evidence that it was not punishment. Because punishment does not produce anything worth having. But the process left you with something you could not have arrived at any other way. And the something is already visible, even if you can't name it yet.
The process was not the punishment,
And the produce something is the evidence.
the process was not the punishment.
Evidence is what the season left behind. Every heart that arrived like consequence. Every season that fit the deserving reading.
The process
Was not the punishment. And what it produced in the producing is the testimony that punishment could never have written.
not punishment.
Process
And the process
produced something real. I want to say something that the season tried to take before I could say it. I am still here, not triumphantly, not with everything resolved, not with the proof that it all worked out. Just here, still breathing, still reaching. And after everything the season tried, still here is the miracle I did not manufacture.
I am still here, and that is the miracle.
Not the dramatic kind, but the real kind.
I am still here, and that is the miracle.
Still here after everything that tried. Every season that made a case against continuing. Every moment that presented the alternative.
I am still here, and that is the miracle.
And still here is not a small miracle, dressed as an ordinary one. It is the specific miracle required for every other miracle to have someone to arrive for. There were moments in the season that presented the case for not continuing compellingly. And the case was not irrational. It was built from real material, from the real weight of the real things that the real season had actually produced. And I did not dismiss it, I sat with it and chose something different from inside the sitting. And the choosing something different from inside the sitting with the compelling case was not heroic. It was the smallest, most exhausted, most post-process choice I have ever made. And it is the choice I am most grateful for. In retrospect, I am still here,
And that is the miracle.
and grateful in retrospect is the word.
I am still here, and that is the miracle.
And word means I can say it now. Every compelling case the season presented, every moment the alternative was considered.
I am still here, and that is the miracle.
And considered and chosen differently is the miracle that nobody photographed, but everyone who knows the season understands. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Was written for the specific moment when the choice between continuing and the alternative was being made from the most depleted place the chooser had ever chosen from. And the strength was the specific gift for the specific depletion of the specific moment. And I received something in the depleted moment that I did not produce and did not manufacture and could not explain, except as the specific gift for the specific depletion of the specific moment that for the gift. If you are still here today, after everything the season tried, I need you to understand what still here means. It means you received something in your most depleted moment that you did not manufacture. And what you received in your most depleted moment is the most honest description of what a miracle looks like from the inside. You are the miracle. Still here is the miracle.
I am still here, that is the miracle.
And the miracle is the beginning.
I am still here, and that is the miracle.
And beginning means there is more coming. Every depleted post-process
Still here moment
was the specific miracle required for every miracle that follows it.
I am still here,
And that is the miracle.
and the miracle
We're still here is the foundation
every subsequent miracle
gets to be built on. Still here,
still here.
that is the miracle,
And the miracle
is just beginning. While you were suffering, God was preparing, not after. Not once the suffering was complete, during. In the simultaneous, in the same moment, the suffering was happening. The preparation was happening, and the preparation was specifically shaped by the specific suffering that was happening at the same time. God was preparing while I was suffering, not sequentially, but simultaneously. God was preparing while I was suffering, and simultaneously changes the reading. Every moment the suffering was loudest, every season the preparation was invisible. God was preparing while I was suffering. An invisible preparation is the most complete kind, because it arrives without the warning that would allow the enemy to prepare a response. Joseph in the prison was simultaneously being prepared for the palace, and the preparation was invisible from the prison. And the prison was not the interruption of the preparation, it was the location where the specific preparation for the specific palace could only happen in the specific way it needed to. In the specific way it needed to happen required the prison to be the classroom, not the punishment. And the classroom looks like prison from inside, and like preparation from the angle where the palace can be seen. God was preparing while I was suffering, and the classroom looks like prison from inside. God was preparing while I was suffering, and inside is where you carry the eye. Every prison looking season of preparation, every palace building process disguised as loss. God was preparing while I was suffering, and disguised is the specific word for what preparation wears. While the palace is still being built for the prisoner who does not yet know they are a prisoner on the way to a palace. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard what God has prepared was written for the person standing in the preparation, unable to see from their current elevation what the preparation is building toward, because the elevation required to see the palace from the prison has not yet been reached by the person still inside the preparation. And the not yet reached elevation is not the permanent elevation. The palace requires a different view, and the different view arrives when the preparation is complete enough for the elevation to change. God was preparing while I was suffering, and the elevation changes when preparation is complete. The elevation is already changing. The preparation that was happening while the suffering was happening is arriving now. Not all at once, in the specific increments, that a palace reveals itself to someone who spent the preparation period inside the prison, learning what the palace would require them to know before they could receive it, without it destroying them. God was preparing while I was suffering, and the arriving is already beginning. God was preparing while I was suffering, and beginning means I can see the edges. Every prison classroom season, every invisible palace being built. God was preparing while I was suffering, and the edges of the palace are becoming visible from the elevation. The preparation has already moved me to. While you were suffering, He was preparing, and the preparation is arriving now. I want to tell you something about the season you are in. The page is turning, not dramatically. Pages never turn dramatically. They turn the way pages turn, quietly, one corner at a time. And you may not feel the turning yet, but the turning is happening. And what is on the next page has been written in a different tone than the page you are on. The page is turning, I cannot see the next page yet. The page is turning, but turning means there is a next page. Every chapter that felt like the final one, every season that read like an ending. The page is turning, and turning is the most hopeful word in any story that felt like it was over. I have been on pages that I would not have written if the writing had been mine to do. Pages that arrived without my input and stayed longer than I would have scheduled, and the staying made the page feel like the book, rather than one chapter in a book that was still being written by someone with a better view of the whole. And the someone with the better view has already written the next page before the current page is finished being read. And the next page was written specifically for the person process produced. Every chapter that felt like the final chapter, every page that read like the ending. The page is turning, and the person the process produced is the specific reader the next page was written for. Behold, I am doing a new thing, was spoken to people looking at the old things, still in full view, still recent enough to be the dominant evidence for what the future would contain. And the new thing was declared in the presence of the old thing, not after the old thing had been fully processed and replaced. And the declaration of the new thing in the presence of the old thing is the turning of the page before the old page has finished being read. And the turning is happening while the old page still feels dominant. The page is turning, and the new thing declared before the old is done. The page is turning, and done means the declaration is already made. Every old thing still in full view, every old page still feeling dominant. The page is turning, and the declaration has already been made over the next chapter of your story, while this chapter is still in the room. The new thing he declared before you could see it is on the next page, and the next page is closer than the current page makes it feel, because the current page was always going to end. Every page does, and the one writing yours has already written what comes next. And what comes next was written specifically for the person this page produced. The page is turning, and what comes next was written for who you are. The page is turning, and who you are is who the process made. Every hard page that produced someone stronger, every dark chapter that built someone deeper. The page is turning, and the person this page produced is the most qualified reader the next page has ever had. The page is turning, the next page was written specifically for you. Turn the page. Turn the page. The miracle you have been waiting for, the one that feels overdue, the one that the process was supposed to lead to, but has not yet arrived visibly. That miracle is not absent, it is not late, it is specifically shaped by everything the wound has been producing in the waiting. And the shaping takes exactly the time it takes to shape something that fits perfectly into the life the wound produced. The miracle after the wound is shaped by what the wound produced. The miracle after the wound and shaped means it fits precisely every contour the suffering created, every specific capacity the pain built. The miracle after the wound was designed for the specific person the wound produced, not the person before the wound. The person after it. A specific receiving capacity that only the wound produces, a depth of gratitude that only the process creates, A specific ability to hold what the miracle contains that would have been impossible for the pre-wound version of the person who is about to receive what the wound was preparing them for all along. And the pre-wound version could not have held what the post-wound version was built to receive. And the miracle was designed for the receiver, not the version of the receiver that existed before the wound reduced them and rebuilt them into someone larger than before in the specific ways the miracle requires. The miracle after the wound was designed for the post-wound receiver. The miracle after the wound and post-wound means the wound was necessary. Every reduction the suffering produced, every rebuilding the process created. The miracle after the wound was specifically calibrated for the specific person. The wound left standing when it was finished with its work. He restores the years that the locust has eaten. Is not a retroactive statement about the years that were consumed. It is a declaration about what the restoration contains, and restoration that covers consumed years is a miracle of a specific magnitude that required the consumption to establish the scale of what the restoring would need to be. And the scale of the restoring is established by the scale of the consuming. And the consuming that felt like the end was establishing the scale of the restoration that was always coming for the one who survived the consuming long enough to receive what the scale required. The miracle after the wound has the scale of what the wound consumed. The miracle after the wound and scale means it covers everything. Every consumed year being restored, every locust season being redeemed. The miracle after the wound and redeemed is the specific word for what the wound was always building toward in the hands of the one who makes all things work together for the good of the ones who love him and stay through the wound to receive the miracle. The miracle after the wound is not a consolation prize for surviving the wound. It is the specific miracle that required the wound to produce the receiver capable of holding it. And you are that receiver, produced by the wound, specifically shaped by everything the suffering built in you while it was happening. And the miracle is already moving toward the receiver. It was always designed toward you. The crying that nobody saw, the specific kind that happens after everyone else has moved on from your situation. The kind that has no audience because the audience stopped knowing it was still happening. That crying has a morning on the other side of it. After the crying comes the morning, not immediately but certainly. After the crying comes the morning, and certainly is the word for it. Every tear that fell in the private season, every night that asked if morning was still real. After the crying comes the morning, and morning has never once failed to come. After the crying was finished, weeping may stay for the night was not written as a comfort slogan. It was written as a structural description of the relationship between night and morning. Weeping has a duration, and the duration is contained within the night. And the night has a duration, and the duration is contained within the arrival of the morning. And the arrival of the morning is not contingent on the weeping finishing first. The morning arrives on the morning schedule, regardless of whether the weeping has concluded. By the time it does, after the crying comes the morning, and morning arrives on its own schedule. After the crying comes the morning, not waiting for the crying to conclude. Every weeping that lasted longer than the weeper thought survivable. After the crying comes the morning, survivable is the word for what the night produces in the one who makes it through to the morning. Joy comes in the morning, is paired with the weeping on purpose, because the pairing is the promise that the night and the weeping share a relationship with the morning, and the joy that is structural and not contingent on the performance of the weeper during the night. And the joy that comes in the morning was not earned by the weeping. It was built into the morning before the weeping had a name or a duration or a specific address. After the crying comes the morning, and joy was built into the morning before the cry. After the crying comes the morning, and before means the joy predates the weeping. Every specific address the crying had, every private season of the night. After the crying comes the morning, and the morning is carrying the joy toward every night that is still happening right now. The night you are in has a morning attached to it. Not because mornings are automatic, but because the one who scheduled the morning scheduled it specifically for the night you are currently trying to survive. And he does not miss the mornings he scheduled. After the crying comes the morning, and the scheduled morning is on its way. After the crying comes the morning, on its way means it is already moving. Every night that asked if morning was still real was answered before the question finished. After the crying comes the morning, and the morning that is coming for you is carrying everything that don't have the faith you had before. The process took something from it, not everything, but enough that the faith you have left feels too small for the size of what you need. But small faith was always the specific faith he was talking about when he said it was enough.
Small faith still moves mountains. He never required the large kind. Small faith still moves mountains. The size was never the qualification. Every diminished season of believing, every faith the process made smaller. Small faith still moves mountains, and smaller was always enough for the one who does the moving. I have been ashamed of the size of my faith in the season that reduced it, as if the reduction was a failure of the believer rather than the honest result of a process that would have reduced anyone's to the same small thing that remained when the process was finished with the reducing. And the small thing that remained after the process finished reducing was not a lesser faith, it was a more honest faith, an honest faith. In a small quantity is more functional than performed faith. In a larger quantity that the process would have revealed as partially decorative. Small faith still moves mountains, and honest was always more functional. Small faith still moves mountains, and functional is the word for what remains. Every reduced and honest remnant, every diminished but real remaining faith. Small faith still moves mountains and remaining. After the process is the most specific qualification for the moving there is. As small as a mustard seed was not a lowering of the standard, it was a description of the minimum requirement. And the minimum requirement was set specifically low because the one who set it knew what the process would do to the faith of the ones who went through it, and wanted the minimum to be survivable. And survivable is what the minimum is when the process has done its work on the faith that was present before the process started. Small is survivable, and survivable is still enough to move the mountains. Small faith still moves mountains, and survivable was always the target. Small faith still moves mountains, and target means it was designed for this. Every post-process reduced remaining faith, every small honest mustard seed of believing. Small faith still moves mountains, and the mountain does not check the size of the faith. Before it moves, it just moves when the faith is present at all. The faith you have left after everything this season took is not a disappointment to him. It is not a reduced version of what he was hoping for. It is exactly the size he described as sufficient for the mountain, and the mountain has already received the instruction to move. Small faith still moves mountains, and the instruction has already been given. Small faith still moves mountains, and given means the mountain knows it. Every reduced but present remaining faith, every honest mustard seed still standing. Small faith still moves mountains, and the mountain is already responding to
faith. You have left. Small faith still moves mountains. The mountain already knows. I need to say something that took me a long time to be able to receive. The process was not the punishment. It felt like punishment. It had the texture of punishment. It arrived at times that made punishment the most available interpretation, but the process and the punishment are not the same thing, and the difference changes everything about what the process produced. The process was not the punishment, even though it arrived like one. The process was not the punishment, and like one is not the same as one. Every season that felt like consequence, every heart that arrived like judgment. The process was not the punishment, and not the punishment changes the reading of everything the process produced. I have read my own history through the lens of deserving, and found the hard seasons fitting neatly into the category of what someone with my specific record might reasonably expect to receive. And the fitting felt like confirmation of an interpretation that was logical but inaccurate. And the inaccuracy of the deserving lens is that it assigns punishment as the motive for processes that were designed with a different outcome than punishment can produce. The process was not the punishment, and designed with a different outcome. The process was not the punishment, and outcome is what distinguishes them. Every season that fit the deserving lens, every heart that confirmed the interpretation. The process was not the punishment, and the confirmation was the lens, not the process, and the lens was inaccurate. He disciplines those he loves is not a contradiction of the process not being punishment. It is the distinction between discipline and punishment. Discipline has an outcome that punishment does not. Discipline produces something in the discipline that the situation required. The producing of and punishment is a different category entirely. And the producing of something in the season that felt like punishment is the evidence that the season was not punishment, but process, and process produces what punishment was never designed to. The process was not the punishment, and produces the word for what it did. The process was not the punishment, and it means it is already complete. Every season of aberrant consequence, every heart that fit the deserving lens. The process was not the punishment, and fitting the lens was the lens problem, not the process problem. Now the process produced what it was always designed to. What the process produced in you, the specific thing that only the specific process could have produced, is the evidence that it was not punishment. Because punishment does not produce anything worth having. But the process left you with something you could not have arrived at any other way. And the something is already visible, even if you can't name it yet.
The process was not the punishment, and the produce something is the evidence. The process was not the punishment.
Evidence is what the season left behind. Every heart that arrived like consequence, every season that fit the deserving reading.
The process
Was not the punishment,
and what it produced in the producing
is the testimony that punishment could never have written.
not punishment.